Dang, it is so hot out today. You know what we could do to stay cool that would just hit the spot? I was just gonna say let's go inside and sit in the AC where it's cool.
Oh, well that sounds great. Why didn't you say so?
I'm not gonna lie, it's really hot, but it's not hot in here.
You got that right. You know what's frustrating?
What?
When you buy a camper so you can go camping in the summer, and your camper has either 1 or 2 air conditioners, and no matter what you do, they will not cool down your RV.
It's funny you say that because I'm thinking of all the pop-up campers out there that have no air conditioners, and they're thinking, wow, must be nice to have an AC.
Must be nice until that AC doesn't even do anything. We're gonna have you go from this to this.
And we know a lot of RVers out there are just like us that have had so many struggles of getting out on the road. It's a really hot day. You show up to your RV campsite and your ACs just can't keep up. Heck, it's a nice balmy 88 degrees in the RV and you're wondering, is this it? Is this what I bought an RV for? How do we stay cool on the road? Well, stay tuned, because we're bringing you everything you need to know. Let me start by prefacing, I'm originally from California, and where I come from, it's hot, but it's a different type of heat. I'm talking about a dry heat. Imagine yourself sitting in an oven and just baking like a roasted turkey. That's the type of heat that California has to offer. Transition to where we are now on the East Coast, it's a very muggy and just so much humidity, which adds an extra layer of stress when it comes to cooling down your RV. Because our first tip is having to talk about something that we recommend every RVer having. Let me show you. Okay, I just realized this isn't running, so.
Oh, perfect.
We're good now. Welcome to what I call a little bit of California. This is mini California right here. And the reason I say that is because it helps to draw out the humidity from the air to make it a more dry environment within the RV. Dehumidifier, get yourself one. It is a lifesaver when it comes to cooling down the RV. Now, if you've been following us for some time, you'll notice that we have done winter camping in the past. We mentioned having a dehumidifier there as well. When you think of being in an RV, a lot of people will argue and say, well, I'm not exposed to the humidity like they are on the East Coast, but you fail to realize that you do a lot of cooking in your RV and that creates moisture. You do a lot of talking and just breathing creates even more moisture in the air. So all these things accumulated, you're getting this humidity inside your RV and it's something you don't even realize that is happening on the back end.
So you're hearing this and you're like, I don't really care if my RV is a little bit humid, whatever. I don't need to have one. We're just camping for a little bit in the summer. But here's why your RV is not cooling down properly. Having increased humidity in a small amount of space in your RV is causing your ACs to overwork. Your AC is already trying to get the humidity out of it and produce like very dry, cool air. So having the dehumidifier in your RV is pretty much helping it run more efficiently. Makes sense, right?
I would say learn from us and run your dehumidifier at all times, no matter what situation you're in. It's just gonna help you. If you are enjoying what you're hearing so far, listen, we would really appreciate it if you guys went ahead and liked this video. You can use your phone or the TV. Go ahead and hit the like button. That way we know you enjoy this content and we'll keep bringing more of it.
Okay guys, brave the heat with me. Let's go outside. If you are fortunate enough to pick your own campsite, you definitely want to take into account the direction of where the sun is hitting your RV at the hottest time of day and your windows. As you can see, we got a lot of big windows on the passenger side of our RV, so if we're able to pick our campsite and we know it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, we will position our RV in a way that we can still look out our windows and be able to stay cool. If you don't have control over that, which a lot of people don't, here are some ways to just kind of control that sunlight in your RV.
Let me get up here, I can explain. Now don't try this at home. I wanted to show you up close and personal these bad boys right here. We don't talk enough about these and we don't give them enough credit. Don't mind my white thighs. We fall victim to not using them as much as we should. Think about your RV as like a box, right? You want to prevent as much sun exposure as you can, and you have all this free real estate through the awnings to like prevent the sun from directly hitting one side of the RV. So why not use it? Whenever you get to the campsite, go ahead and roll these out, prevent the sun exposure from hitting the RV, and then your ACs aren't having to work so much on cooling down all this heat intruding into the side of your RV. How many times did I just say RV? Let me know in the comments.
But always remember, keep an eye on your awnings, and if it looks like a storm's rolling in or the wind is picking up, don't chance it. Roll those bad boys in and pay attention, because we have another way to help prevent sunlight from cooking your RV.
Hot, 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 hot. Okay.
Are you ready to go in? Because it's hot out and it's cool in there.
Real quick before we go in, I want to show one more thing over here.
All right.
Follow me. One thing I never imagined when getting in the RV life is how much the sun will affect the cooling process when it comes to the refrigerator. Let me explain. Now on the back here, we have a fan that's constantly pushing outside air into the backside of our refrigerator. The reason we do that is because the sun is always constantly beating down on the backside of the fridge, and over time that really inhibits the cooling down process. So what we ended up doing was putting a fan on the back of the refrigerator here. It's just a cool nifty trick I wanted to share with you. This really helps to cool down the refrigerator.
Now are you ready to go inside and cool off?
Let's go inside because it's getting really hot.
All right, check this out. Recently, I installed curtains, these beautiful sheer curtains, because I wanted more of a residential feel. So nice to have the windows open and these curtains shut, especially when the sun is not brutal. But for the days when the sun is brutal and it's super hot, these are not gonna do anything. Diddly squat, basically, to cool your RV down. Soon as I feel the heat hitting me and it gets too hot, I lower these bad boys. These are roller shades that came with our RV, and they do a fantastic job preventing the heat from hitting here. As soon as I lowered this, I just feel so much cooler sitting here. Keep your roller shades installed, or install roller shades and ones that help block out the sun as much as possible. They do more than you think. Now sometimes the heat is so bad, the sun is so powerful that no matter what, you put the awnings out, you have the shades down, it's just not good enough. There's something else you can do, and you might remember us using this in the winter time to keep it warm in here, but it also works in the summer, and that is reflective insulation. Some people will put it in their skylights, on the main windows where the heat is hitting the most, and I'm gonna show you in our RV where we would like to install some Reflectix, but I found another creative way to keep our bedroom more cool. I just have to show you. It's a little loud because we have the ACs running, but hopefully you can hear me okay. We have this huge, beautiful window, but I'll tell you what, in the summer, if this thing is open, it produces a lot of heat. But even if this roller blind is shut, it still gets really hot right here. I went ahead and took the thing that he uses to put in his windshield to protect the truck dashboard, and I threw it up in here. Wow. As soon as this dropped, I'm not kidding, I just felt so much heat hit me. This isn't fancy and it's not installed anyway special, but I just went ahead and threw it in there and quick shut the blinds. And this reflecting all the heat in the sun, it's done wonders for keeping the inside of the RV cool. You'll never see a fancier installation than what you're about to see.
Now when we get to our campsite, something we notice really helps the cool down process initially is getting some of the hot air from inside the RV to outside the RV, obviously. But how do you accomplish that? We have a max air fan in our RV, which is basically like a typical vent, except it's a little bit more automated. We press a button, the lid opens up, and starts sucking some of the internal air outside. It just gets some air movement going on. Well, with doing so, when you think about hot air, a lot of times hot air likes to rise. Live in a fifth wheel, for example, you walk upstairs, it's a lot hotter upstairs than it is downstairs. Let me go ahead and turn on the fan here. She's cooking, come with me. Can you still see me down there? Right now, a lot of the hot air is getting sucked out internally from the RV through this fan. So since hot air rises, use it to your advantage and run these fans when you get to your RV site first thing. Even when you start the ACs, open this up at first, allow that hot air to get outside, shut it, and then allow the ACs to overtake the workload, so to speak.
Okay, let's get into like the juicy
Bread and butter.
of this video and talk about how to make these ACs run more efficiently. I do want to start with the least invasive one, and then we'll move on to the most invasive. And the first thing you could do is just easily take apart these vents here on the outside, these filters. We have a cat, and boy, does he like to just clog up these filters with his nifty cat hair.
And it shows, because obviously we haven't cleaned these filters in quite a while.
No, we just cleaned these 2 weeks ago, but it goes to show how fast and easily these get clogged with animal hair, human hair. I recommend cleaning them first thing in the morning before you run your ACs so that they could dry and just be ready to go before you run your ACs. I'll clean those in a little bit, maybe tomorrow morning. But speaking of the morning, a lot of people don't realize that you need to get a head start on your ACs. If you know it's gonna be really hot that day, really humid, you're getting warnings about a high heat index, get those ACs pumping, possibly at 6 in the morning. Yeah, you might be cold, you might have to grab your sweatshirt and wear it while you're drinking your coffee, but at least the ACs get a head start. There has been many times that our ACs could not keep up in the past because we were just kicking them on at maybe 10 or 11 in the morning. And by that time, it's too late.
Okay, now I know this is gonna be weird to explain it, but stick with me here. When I think of the AC, I think of it as like the human body, more like the human lungs. You breathe in, you breathe out, and that's kind of what the AC does. It takes hot air in and pushes cool air out, kind of creates that circle of life that we so enjoy these days. Piggybacking off of what Renee had mentioned with keeping the filters always clean, in the internal aspect of your AC, there's something called a baffle there. And that divides the two areas of the AC, and it's very important. Actually, let's cut over to the 2022 version of Carl, and I'll explain it over there. They call it a plenum. This whole situation going on up in the roof here is called a plenum. Anyways, behind the plenum is a baffle, and it kind of divides one area of the AC against the other. The one area blows the cold air, and the other area sucks the hot air out. So now you can see this is a really easy thing to go assess and make sure that baffle's in the correct place to make sure your AC is working efficiently. Now I want to give a huge shout out to Yeti RV Mobile Services because they helped with this next tip. Philip, he's a great RV technician, and he mentioned that you want to run your ACs on high rather than running it on a low cycle. You want to run it on high because it helps prevent icing of the coils. And trust me, we've also experienced this. Let me show you. It's kicking a lot of ice at me.
No.
Yeah, I just kicked it all over the bed here, so.
Why so much ice?
But at least the fan's working for now. See, before we used to run our ACs on low all the time because it was just more quiet. You know, being in a bedroom with the AC right there, it could get extremely loud. Well, not extremely loud, but it's just obnoxious after a while. But having gone through that process of our coils freezing up and getting ice spit all over the bed, well, we quickly changed our habits, so to speak, and we're running the ACs on high at all times now. Let's head on downstairs because I want to show you a little more up close and personal with our next tip here. You're gonna like this one.
What do you got for us, Carl?
Let me grab a chair here. Now, we did install something called an RV airflow. Not everyone needs to go out and buy one of these right away. However, I say that because there is also a DIY aspect you could go about it that costs a lot cheaper. I think it's like 15 bucks, and you could just do this all yourself, but you have to be a little more creative. We like this option where we could just stick the styrofoam up in here, nail it down, and it's good to go. The reason I wanted to bring up the RV airflow in the first place is because when we initially bought the fifth wheel, we were not satisfied with how much air was getting pushed through the RV. So let me elaborate a little bit more on what that styrofoam piece really does. Talking about that dead space I mentioned earlier within the AC, your AC creates a lot of cool air and it sits in the ducts of your RV, but it's not getting moved efficiently throughout all the ducting and pushed down into the actual living area. And that's why the RV airflow has really helped us, because putting that styrofoam piece there has really forced that air to be dispersed into the RV. So much so that when actually we're running both ACs, sometimes we gotta turn it down because it gets pretty chilly. Now, if you are interested in the simpler option like we are, but you don't want to pay full price for these things, we got you. you can utilize our code in the description below, THANKSHANKS, and it will help save you some money off of this unit. It has made a huge difference. We have it installed in this AC and the AC in the bedroom as well.
You know what we should do, hun? Because we have so many videos related to staying cool and AC maintenance.
What?
We should create a playlist regarding it so people can access all the videos easier.
Actually, by the time this video comes out, you know what? I'll have that already created for everyone. It will keep it super simple. So I'll link that playlist right here for you. Go watch all those videos after getting done with this one, because there's a lot of valuable information, even more in-depth information regarding the AC itself.
If you want to improve the airflow through your RV, on top of RV airflow and all the things we said, there's a DIY that's so easy, and that is going to Home Depot or Lowe's and purchasing a dome door stopper. And what you want to do is take that dome door stopper, take off your vent here, and you're just gonna stick that right on top here. And what that is gonna do is gonna help divert the air to hit that and go down versus just constantly shooting across. If any of you have done this DIY and you think it is so worth it, even though there's not much to it, please comment below and let us know if everyone should do it. And make sure while you're there, you guys are scrolling through the comments and also learning more from everyone down in there. The comments is a great place to be. I'll actually show you exactly what it is. Follow me. There it is. It's just a simple little dome piece, and as you can see, it just peels right off, and you could just stick that right in the top of your vents.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's only $5?
$4 for one.
Sweet. When you think about weather, right? They always talk about it's gonna be cold this weekend, but then they always mention a wind chill on top of that. And there's a very specific reason they do that, because wind chill comes into play so much. So what I'm saying is, when you're living in an RV, go get yourself a house fan, maybe like just a little box fan, to help push the air throughout the RV and keep the airflow moving. That way, when the ACs do provide whatever cool air they can, the box fan is pushing that air throughout the RV, and it's gonna help cool down your RV a lot quicker. Now, a lot of people argue and say, well, that's not gonna make my RV colder. I would argue back and say it absolutely will, because if it didn't, with the movement of the air, then wind chill would just not exist whatsoever. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Because when we first get inside the RV and it's like 80 degrees in here or higher, and as soon as I kick on that AC, even though it's like 80 degrees in here, just the feel of some kind of air hitting me immediately cools me down.
How you cool your body down when you sweat, that's evaporation. Your body is sweating and perspiring, and with that moisture, it's pulling the hotness off your body. Wow, don't you love these terms? But same concept, right?
Wait, I just thought of another one.
What?
But I want them to see my face when I say it, because I
Okay.
know they love seeing Nene's face.
Sure they do. No, they love seeing Carl's face. Welcome back to the channel.
Hey.
Oh.
Okay, I just saw people doing this because we're here, it's summer, and a lot of people are full-timing in really hot temperatures, and that is skirting your RV in the summer. I read about this online too, and I didn't believe it until I seen a lot of people doing it in the summer, and I chatted with these people, and they said it really helps prevent some of that heat from coming up into the floor, because that pavement gets so hot under your RV.
And what does hot air do?
Goes up.
So there you go.
Underneath your RV, if it's so hot, and then your ACs are pushing cold air, and that cold air is trying to come down, but that hot air is trying to come up, it's just creating a mess inside your RV. So if you plan on being stationary for a while, and it's gonna be, say, Arizona, Nevada, California, and you know it's gonna be hot, I would consider skirting your RV for that amount of time.
A huge culprit, and one that is overlooked so often, right here. These seals are immensely important because they prevent exposure from the outside to the inside. And if you'll notice, when we slide our slide out, sometimes this seal fails to fully extend all the way, and it gets kind of bunched up on itself, and that allows the intrusion of excess heat and moisture to creep on into the inside of the RV. Make sure you're always inspecting these seals to make sure they're flush, fully extended with the RV, and allowing them to do their job efficiently, because your ACs and the internal temperatures of your RV, they'll thank you. Most importantly, please stay cool this summer. We want to set you guys up for the most success. And while I run back inside real fast, I want you to just consider what YouTube has to show you right here. It's gonna populate a video that it thinks you will enjoy. And going back to what I was saying about that playlist before that has to do with all the AC maintenance, I'll put that one here as well. Click on one of these, go get caught up on some extra content that you can enjoy. Stay cool, and we'll see you guys next week.